Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for November 12th. First of all, Joe Biden's COVID advisor says that the United States must go into lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks to control the pandemic and revive the economy. Dr. Osterholm, an advisor to President-elect Joe Biden, said a nationwide lockdown will help bring the virus under control. The doctor also added that the government could borrow enough money to pay for a package that would cover lost income for individuals and governments during a shutdown. And we have Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer renewing the push for a $3.4 trillion stimulus relief bill. But Senate Leader Mitch McConnell does not want to pass anything close to a $3.4 trillion bill. McConnell wants to pass a $650 billion skinny stimulus bill that he and the Republicans are preparing to propose. What do you think is going to happen, folks? Will we get Speaker Pelosi's and the Democratic $3.4 trillion stimulus bill? Or will Mitch McConnell get his way and pass another skinny stimulus bill? Leave your comments down below. And also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the notifications bell, and give this video a like. Now, Speaker Pelosi and Chuck Schumer just held a press conference, so let's hear what they had to say about your next stimulus check.
But numbers have eloquence too. Yesterday, our nation suffered a horrifying 144,000 new infections recorded. The 8th straight day of over 100,000 cases being reported. More than 65,000 Americans are hospitalized with COVID. The devastating milestone of 10 million Americans infected has been passed. 144 yesterday, 8th day, over 100. 65,000 people hospitalized with COVID. 10 million Americans, more than 10 million Americans infected, and more than 240,000 Americans have died. More than 20 million Americans are on unemployment. An American has 1 million fewer teachers than a year ago. That's why we keep saying honor our heroes. But science tells us to do. They have ignored their contempt for science and their disdain for governance. Science says wear a mask. Governance says let's enforce that.
There we have it, folks. That's what Speaker Pelosi said about the Trump administration, the next stimulus package, and the news of our current election. By the way, what do you think of Speaker Pelosi? Is she a good political leader, and is she actually helping you get your second stimulus check? Tell me what you think of Pelosi in the comments down below. And according to Fox Business, Pelosi and Schumer renewed a push for a $3.4 trillion stimulus relief bill. Fox Business reports that Democratic leaders on Thursday renewed their push for a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus relief package, likely setting up a showdown with Republicans, as the two sides remain fundamentally divided over how much money to spend on stimulus measures. Speaking to reporters in Washington, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she still supports an aid bill worth at least $2.2 trillion for the American workers and businesses that are still recovering from the virus. We're at the same place, even more so with the pandemic, she said, pointing to the single-day record set for coronavirus cases on Wednesday. She then said, "Look at those numbers." Schumer said during the joint press conference with Pelosi, "The HEROES Act should be the starting point, not an emaciated bill that prioritizes protections for corporations and considers the need for American families as an afterthought." For months, Congress has struggled to reach an agreement on another round of emergency relief for families and businesses after passing the $2.2 trillion CARES Act in March. But that was during the beginning of the pandemic. Remember that back in March, it only took Congress less than a week to pass a $2.2 trillion stimulus bill. It was signed by the Democrats, Republicans, and President Trump in such a short period of time. But now, 8 months later, and even after the election, both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, are still arguing on the need for more stimulus and the overall total of the stimulus package. My message to our politicians is to give the American people what they want, give the American people what they need. We've been through enough pain and suffering. The least Congress can do is pass a second stimulus bill. But the two sides weren't able to reconcile key policy differences on issues such as testing plans and aid to state and local governments, as well as tax cuts for the low and middle income families. Although lawmakers have indicated that they will try to pass legislation targeted at the economic fallout from the pandemic during the current lame duck session, it's unclear whether they will be successful. in approving a second stimulus bill, especially since President Trump is leaving stimulus talks up to Mitch McConnell. Dr. Ostrom, an advisor to President-elect Joe Biden, said we could really watch ourselves cruising into the vaccine availability in the first and second quarter of next year, while bringing back to the economy long before that. Dr. Osterholm said that the country is headed toward COVID hell. Cases are rising as more people grow tired of wearing masks and social distancing, suffering from the so-called pandemic fatigue, he said. Colder weather is also driving people indoors, where the virus can spread more easily. A nationwide lockdown would drive the number of cases and hospitalizations down to manageable levels, while the world awaits a vaccine. He also added, we could pay for a package right now to cover all of the wages, lost wages for individual workers, first losses to small companies, to medium-sized companies or city, state, county governments. We could do all of that, he said. If we did that, then we could lock down for 4 to 6 weeks. Do you agree with Dr. Osterholm, Biden's COVID advisor? And do you think the United States should go under lockdown for an additional 4 to 6 weeks? Do you think that a lockdown is going to help recover our economy? I want to know what you think in the comments down below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. That is all the news in today's video. If you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the notifications bell, and give this video a like. Until next time, thank you for watching.